distance, ribbon black, stretched to the point of no turning back. Flight of fancy on the windswept field, standing alone, my senses reel. Fatal attraction is holding me fast. How can I escape this irresistible grasp? Can't keep my eyes from the sunny sky. Tongue-tied, twisted, just an earthbound distant eye.
In this episode of GATV, we'll return to Sebring, Florida and continue our coverage of this year's U.S. SportExpo that highlights the LSA industry. And we'll get some flight training tips from the instructors at Ocean Helicopters and North County Flight Training. Finally, we check in with Master CFI Jim Alsop for this segment of Hangar Talk.
All right, you are go. Now we see the Earth. You got it. Now we see the Earth now. You got it. Now we see the Earth. You got it. Now we see the Earth now. All right, you are go.
Have you ever watched a small plane passing overhead and wondered what it'd be like to fly? Well, here's your chance. North County Flight Training can start you on your way to becoming a pilot, or even take you further into a career as a commercial pilot with their flight training from private through ATP. For those days when Mother Nature doesn't cooperate, North County Flight Training has a full motion flight simulator where you can log time and practice maneuvers in a safe, controlled environment. If you're already a pilot, North County Flight Training rents their fleet of aircraft starting at as little as $85 an hour including fuel. And because they're affiliated with Aircraft Maintenance Specialist, who is the area's Cessna Authorized Service Center, you're going to rent the cleanest, most well-maintained aircraft available. Their Discovery flights are only $99 and make a great gift. For more information, call 561-694-9282 or log on to northcountyflight.com. GATV Online's website is devoted entirely to general aviation. Not only can you watch each episode of GATV 24/7, but GATV Online can be your one-stop for all of your aviation needs. Like our flight planning page, where you can check the weather, plan your flight, and even file your flight plan. And the Flying Resources page gives you quick access to many other aviation websites. There are other pages that cover upcoming events, tell more about the GATV crew, plus please check out our sponsors links page, whose support makes GATV and GATV Online possible. New to our website is our flight training page, with loads of information about becoming a private pilot or a sport pilot, including links for flight instruction and ground school. We always like to hear from our viewers, so drop us an email with any comments or suggestions. That's GATV and GATVonline.com. After one of the town hall meetings hosted by the AOPA, we had a chance to talk to their president, Mr. Craig Fuller. All right, for those of you who aren't familiar with the AOPA, It is one of the largest organizations out there for pilots, and not only for pilots, basically if you're in the aviation community, they are the organization that's out there that's fighting for us on Capitol Hill to keep flying free and keep it affordable. But then also too, they're one single source of information for anything that you need, pilot related, aviation related, anything you need, you can go to them, not only on their website, but they have a host of actual live people that you can talk to that will answer your telephone call just like that, because I've done it. And just a really good source of information. For anybody who is familiar with AOPA, the gentleman standing next to me needs no introduction whatsoever. Mr. Craig Fuller is president of AOPA. Thank you so much for taking time with us.
Hey, it's great to be with you. You did a great job. I'm not sure how I could improve upon that description.
Well, what we really would like to let the audience know is to become a member, there's so much strength in numbers, and that's really what AOPA is about and what we need. If you're not a member of AOPA, I'm going to ask Mr. Fuller to run down some of the benefits of joining, which, you know, I know you could take 30 minutes at least talking about it, but it's really a great organization.
Well, first of all, and I thank you for that, maybe I should say at the beginning and I'll say at the end that everything about the organization and the way to join can be found at www.aopa.org. A group of people came together in Pennsylvania in 1939, a long time ago, and said we really need to band together to make sure we protect this freedom to fly, and we encourage other people to do that. And so all these years later, that's what we're still all about. And we love reaching out to people who are thinking about learning to fly and bringing them in, getting them involved with us. We have a flight training magazine that tells them everything there is to know about flight training and what they should be looking for. And we're actually launching we've launched an initiative that addresses flight training. You can sign up for myflighttraining.com. It'll help talk you through the process of learning to fly. And this works regardless of what your age is, whether you're 18, 19, or 60 years old. There's good information there for people that are interested in learning to fly.
Okay, well, I can't say enough about the organization. Go to their website, check it out. Get involved with AOPA. We need them desperately to be able to keep the skies open for us, and we really sincerely appreciate all the hard work that you guys do for us behind the scenes that the normal pilot out there just doesn't see.
Well, you're kind, and you mentioned something that's also important to. It's not just the website. We also have the Pilot Information Center. You can get there online. You can get there by calling us. You'll find the number on the website. But we do have people who have been professional pilots, but they're flight instructors. They're really there to answer any and all questions that people who are members of the organization but thinking about learning to fly are more than welcome to call us and talk to us about it. Don't sit there wondering whether you can do it. The neat thing is that, you know, this year, I'll bet you around 50, maybe 60,000 people will actually learn to fly, will become private pilots. So lots of people are doing this, and it's something that, as was said earlier today in this program, it really does change your life. It makes a big difference in your life.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to GATV. We're here at the Sebring Expo, and this is the last day of the show. And we're here at one of the companies that has the whole realm of aircraft, starting from LSA all the way into general aircraft. And anyone who flies is familiar with Cessna, so they really don't need any introduction. But I'm here with Mike Long, and I'll let him tell us more about their new LSA, the Skycatcher.
Yes, this is Cessna's 162, commonly referred to as the Skycatcher. It's mostly all aluminum aircraft. Purpose for the aluminum construction is that, of course, Cessna has an awful lot of experience with it, but also there's a longevity factor that they feel that will show itself as the aircraft ages. It's very popular with flight schools. We have a lot of Cessna pilot centers that are operating them right now. Some of them are over 100 hours a month, and the airplane's doing very well in that regard. It's also reset the price of learning how to fly, which was getting to be very expensive, and it's, you know, let's say probably $10,000 at this point. And the Skycatcher's probably giving people the chance to learn how between $5,000 to $7,000. So as a result, we're seeing more people get their light sport license than moving on to their private pilot license. The airplane has maximum performance, 118 knots, and we're seeing 115 to 18 out of it, so it's a realistic speed. Obviously, all the light sport aircraft are 1,320 pounds, which, you know, is a challenge for every manufacturer. But we hold 24 gallons of fuel, and that's usable fuel, and it's got some features that we've come to enjoy. It's a fun to fly airplane. It's an easy to fly airplane. We have manual flaps. We have electric trim. We have a little autopilot in this particular demonstrator, which holds altitude. Kind of nice to have. We used it coming back from Wichita, and it made the trip a lot more pleasant, I can tell you. The avionics are Garmin G300, and as of January 1st, the package that's included is fairly extensive compared to what it was before. Basically, we got a simple PFD comm and a transponder before January 1st. Now we have an MFD. Now we have some other features on the airframe and in the avionics that make the aircraft a lot better equipped. Our price, $149,900 with that equipment on it, and that's roughly everything without the autopilot. So a well-equipped airplane with probably everything you'd ever need in it at that price.
Don't go anywhere. GATV will be right back from the Sport Pilot Expo here in Sebring, Florida.
It's like flying a magic carpet, and if you want to experience it for yourself, Ocean Helicopters has a team of seasoned instructors that can train you for your private through ATP helicopter ratings with the FAA-approved Part 141 flight school that offers one-on-one instruction at your pace. Ocean Helicopters can also provide aerial photography, banner towing, and sightseeing tours. Ocean Helicopters flies the safe and versatile Robinson R22 and R44. Plus, for your turbine transition, they have the awesome Bell 206 Jet Ranger. An affiliate of Ocean Helicopters, Bahamas Helicopters, has virtually the same services in the islands of the Bahamas. Ocean Helicopters is located in sunny West Palm Beach, Florida, where we fly year-round, and they can assist out-of-town students. For more information, contact them at 561-625-1900 or visit their website at oceanhelicopters.com. Treasure Coast Avionics in Fort Pierce is your one-stop for all of your avionics needs. They have a huge inventory of parts and the expertise to service all major brands of electronics. Whether you need service, certification, or a panel upgrade, Treasure Coast Avionics can get the job done right. If you're looking for that new panel, they have state-of-the-art design capabilities with CNC machining to turn your dream panel into a reality. Treasure Coast Avionics is located on field at the St. Lucie County International Airport. Click on their logo on the GATV online website for more information.
All right, we're here in the Renegade booth, and out of all of the LSA aircraft that are here at the show, they've got probably one of the sleekest designs. The aircraft looks like it's moving 120 miles an hour sitting on the ramp. Another unique thing that I really do like about their aircraft is it has a, I'm not going to say a real aircraft engine, but it's got a, yeah,
you go ahead and say that.
It's got a Lycoming engine instead of the Rotax. Not that Rotax is anything bad, it's just that most aviators out there that have flown legacy aircraft are more familiar with Lycoming, more comfortable with Lycoming. And I'm here with Doc Bailey. He's going to tell us a little bit more about the Renegade aircraft.
Okay, we started out with Rotax and Jabiru engines like everybody else really did. We got with Lycoming about 3.5 years ago, helped them do the test flying of the Lycoming engines, helped them develop the fuel injection, the electronic ignition systems. We have several to choose for in electronic ignition systems. We put them in the sleek airplanes. This is our new tail dragger version that we're introduced here. We've always had the tricycle versions that we've had in 4 years past. We introduced the tricycle versions about 5 years ago. This is the first flying prototype. We had a mock-up at the Lycoming tent at Oshkosh. So now this will be having the three-bladed prop, which looks real nice. We painted it up, looked like a fighter, because everybody at Lycoming said, wow, you know, with the tail wheel, it looks like the old fighter versions, maybe a P-51 or something. So we decided to do something a little nostalgic and paint it up like a P-40 Warhawk, put the three-bladed prop on it, the Lycoming fuel-injected electronic ignition with the Vetterman exhaust. We're pushing about 124 horsepower and about an 800-pound machine. So we literally take off within about 300 feet of the the runway without holding brakes or without doing a performance takeoff. About the time you have the throttles to the stop, it's off the ground. So it is a very high performance light sport, if you will, and the carbon fiber Kevlar construction makes it very sound, very strong, and of course we use Dynon, Grand Rapids, Garmin materials to put in our avionics packages. So we have a very state-of-the-art avionics package, we have a very state-of-the-art engine. There's not very many aircraft that even use this engine if they wanted to. Our weight components with the carbon fiber and Kevlar really only allow about 310 pounds for the airframe. So we have the availability to put the engine in, the real aircraft engine, if you will.
Okay, it seems like everybody's going with glass cockpits in their airplanes nowadays, and the big craze on using iPads and iPods and all of the electronic stuff out there which has charts. It's all good, but I'm not sure that you will ever be able to replace paper in a cockpit. You know, GPSs can go out, batteries can go down. When you've got a paper chart, it's always a good, reliable resource to have in the cockpit. Not only that, it's a lot tougher to do your flight planning on your living room table with a glass cockpit that's in an airplane back at the airport, or even on a very little small 7-inch screen on an electronic iPad, whereas when you have a paper chart, you've got a lot more to look at. We're here with TriNav charts. I'm going to have Tommy tell us a little bit more about his charts.
Well, on the IFR chart here, what we have are the CTAFs, as you can see right here, and we have the AWOS, the ASOS, weather frequencies, and right here, this is I-75, the major interstate in Florida. This is the Tampa area, and this is a little bit of Orlando, but we also have the major cities in relations to where the airports are, so that way, I mean, you'll be able to see the city before you see the airport. So if you know where the city are, then you'll be able to know where the airport is in location to that. And we also have bodies of water. Right here is St. John's River that leads into Lake George. So we have all this VFR information on IFR charts.
All right, as we're walking through the show, one thing that's apparent is a lot of these LSA airplanes that are here look very similar. They're small, they look like they'd be a lot of fun to fly. I'm not sure how many of them are cross-country capable. The one company that's here that's an exception to that is Tecnam. If you look at their aircraft, these are real aircraft. I mean, they look cross-country capable, they look very comfortable to fly, the interiors are just gorgeous. I'm here with Phil with Tecnam. He's going to tell us a little bit more about the aircraft that they brought to the show today.
Okay, let me start just telling you a little bit about this plane here. This is the P92 Eaglet. The P92 series first came out in actually 1992. It's the longest running aircraft in the Tecnam line that we still produce today. It's as you can see, it's got struts. It's got a Rotax 912 ULS engine. Very economical, very reliable. The Rotax has about 40,000 engines out there. Roughly 20 million hours of operating time. This is the plane really that we would recommend for flight training operations. It's an all-metal aircraft. It's got struts, it's got a lot of headroom for very tall pilots. You can move the seats forward and back so you can adjust them to the point where most people feel pretty comfortable. One of the important things that we have is you have an opening cowling here, and the opening cowling on both sides allows you to do a full pre-flight inspection of the Rotax engine, and that's very important to make sure that everything is nice and comfy before flight. In the aircraft that we like to sell of this configuration for flight schools, we usually put in an advanced flight glass panel. We also put in standard sort of Garmin equipment, typical radios, transponders and so on. One of the features that we like to have in these aircraft is angle of attack indicators, G meters. All of that comes with the typical glass panel, along with sectional maps, moving maps, and the ability to download data from the flight that you've just done. You can put it on Google Earth. You can discuss with the student afterwards exactly what they've been doing during their mission. From a cross-country point of view, you're absolutely right. We fly these all over the country. You've got roughly 26 gallons of fuel. You're able to use automotive fuel, including fuel with ethanol in it. On a typical flight mission in a flight school, we expect to use around 3.5 gallons an hour of fuel. On cross countries, you need to count more like 4.5 to 5 gallons an hour.
This concludes this year's coverage of the U.S. SportExpo in Sebring, Florida. If you've got any interest in LSA aircraft, it's a show you shouldn't miss and one we look forward to attending every year. GATV's website and show are devoted entirely to general aviation. If you want to see your business soar, you should partner with us and our other sponsors so collectively we can promote the sport of flying. By advertising on our show and website, you can help share our passion for flying and expose more people to your business at the same time. For advertising rates, simply click on the airplane logo on the GATV online website. Whether you fly VFR or IFR, proper flight planning and having up-to-date charts on board are essential to safe flight. TriNav Flight Planning Atlas and Charts combines all of these features in one convenient bound atlas. Developed by aviation legend Howie Keefe, he needed a better system for crisscrossing the U.S., setting records and flying in the Reno air races in his P-51 Miss America. You would need all of these charts just to cover the same area of one TriNav Atlas, and instead of throwing them away every 6 months, the TriNav charts are good for 1 full year with free updates. To plan a VFR or IFR flight, you would have to reference many different sources, but one TriNav Flight Planning Atlas has all of the information you need. Divided into 3 sections, north, south, and west, each TriNav Atlas covers a large area for those long cross-country trips, while also containing detailed local information not found on any other charts, like a Rand McNally road map, a cross-country planning chart, miles between airports, radio frequencies of all towered airports, a topographical map of the U.S., and a convenient legend. But the best part of a TriNav Atlas is the unique charts that have all VFR and IFR info together, including Victor Airways, intersections, airports, city locations, VORs, DMEs, airport frequencies including weather, major roadways and waterways, MOAs, airspaces, sector altitudes, and much more. No other chart gives you this much detail and information in a bound atlas for easy handling in the cockpit. Don't rely solely on electronic equipment that can fail. And with the free updates, you will always be legal for flight in the event of an FAA ramp check. Get your TriNav Atlas today and see why it's the only pilot resource you'll ever need. For more information, go to trinavcharts.org or click on the TriNav banner on the GATV online website.
Talking about commercial operations in the rotorcraft industry, we at Ocean Helicopters train our students to all levels of commercial operations. Some of the things that we train our students for is going out and doing different type of long line or types of utility work. This aircraft is here. They're friends of ours that are here visiting from up in the Northeast doing power line patrol. They use the Hughes 500 or the McDonnell Douglas 500 as they're known by now. This aircraft is what's used for different types of commercial or utility work where guys will go out and actually have a platform between the skids, have somebody sitting outside the aircraft and hover right up next to a power line and have somebody sitting there doing power line repairs. So they use the McDonnell Douglas 500 for that because it's a very maneuverable aircraft. So as you're trained to become a commercial pilot, these are some of the opportunities that you'll have as you build up your time and your experience. Flying power line patrol, or a lot of times you'll see these aircraft that have hooks on them. They're doing long line where they're going into forests and picking up trees or picking up air conditioning units and putting them on buildings. These aircraft are used for that. So as we're training our students to become commercial pilots, this is what we're training them for. To work in the commercial world, to be able to have the experience doing power line or long line training.
Securing the airplane. One of the trickiest things for students is tying the knot. A good basic knot, we start out by bringing it through the loop and getting our rope nice and snug. I usually come right underneath, around and through. Come underneath, around and through one more time, locking the second loop in with the first loop. So So I make a nice knot that as the wind blows will tighten up on itself. With the extra rope, I'll come down and just repeat again. That way I've got a nice, tight, secure rope. I also make sure I don't leave too much rope dangling that's going to come up and smack around in the airplane if I do have a windstorm. When tying your aircraft down, I usually start with the wings, and then I use the tail as a third pivot point. So I can pull the airplane back. Be careful of your own back. But I can pull the airplane back, make sure my two front ropes are nice and secure, and then make sure my tail's secure. This way all three positions, all 3 points of the airplane are nice and tight, good, secure. Tight ropes help prevent any wind from getting underneath and prevent the wind from rocking the airplane too much on the tie downs.
Now let's check in with Master CFI Jim Alsop for this segment of Hangar Talk.
Hello, my name is Jim Alsop. Welcome to my hangar classroom and the video production set for Hangar Talk. Hangar Talk is a feature of GA TV Online. Each week, Dave East and I share with you flying tips, anecdotes, and comment that will promote your flying for fun, flying with style, and flying safely. I think most pilots admire the skills of a good stick and rudder pilot, as demonstrated by aerobatic pilots. The pilot who lands a float plane on a tiny mountain lake, or the tailwheel pilot making a perfect touchdown in a strong, gusty crosswind. What kind of skill must they possess to fly like that? Have you wondered what you can do to develop similar skills and become a confident, skillful flyer? Actually, there are only 2 fundamentals to master. Don't stall and control yaw. I bet you can do that. But Jim, wait! Only 2 things to know? Why does pilot school give us all those books to study? Don't confuse being a pilot with being a flyer. To be a flyer, to direct an airplane throughout the entire flight envelope, to be a great stick, you need to master only 2 fundamentals. The first fundamental is an understanding of what the legendary pilot Bob Hoover meant when he said, "Fly the thing." Good sticks understand that airplanes do not stall. Pilots cause airplanes to stall by applying excessive back pressure on the stick. To recover from a stall, just stop pulling back. Learn when to unload the elevator. That is the single most important flying skill that will make you a better pilot and may save your life in an emergency. Avoid a stall and avoid a spin. Just fly the thing. The second fundamental of good stick and rudder skills requires that the pilot control yaw. Yaw is rotation about the airplane's vertical axis caused by deflection of the ailerons, P-factor, or gyroscopic effect. The good pilot's response to yaw, whatever the cause, is the same. Use the rudder. Some pilots fly like they drive a car. When the airplane's nose turns left or right, they turn the yoke against the turn. Please don't do that. learn to use the rudder to control yaw. Avoid a stall, and you've mastered the two great fundamentals for being that good stick and rudder pilot. Dave East and I hope you enjoyed this edition of Hangar Talk, and we look forward to our next time together. Thanks for watching, and if you like the show, please tell your friends. Until next time, this is Jim Alsop reminding you to have fun, fly high, and keep the blue on top.
This episode of GATV has been brought to you by Aviation Insurance Resources, Aircraft Maintenance Specialist, APP Family of FBOs, AvMap Satellite Navigation, Data Toys Digital Video Systems, Dillon Aviation Master CFI Jim Alsop, Trade-A-Plane, Heaven's Landing, Jack Brown Seaplane Base, North County Flight Training, Ocean Helicopters, Piper Aircraft, the Seaplane Pilots Association, Treasure Coast Avionics, and Weekend Waypoints.
Well, that's all we have time for. I hope you enjoyed the show.
If you get a chance, send us an email. We would love to hear from you. And if you're not a pilot, go take a discovery flight. You'll be glad you did. I know I am.
But if you are a pilot, take a kid flying. Fly safe.